Hey everyone, Cardlin here to do another Q&A video because we hit 4,500 subscribers. Thank you all so much for being here, for listening, for subscribing, and for helping me make this stream grow bit by little bit. Every 500 subscribers, I answer some questions submitted by all of you out there as a way to reach out to my beloved community and reveal a bit more about myself. Before we begin, I want to say, if you've submitted a question and I didn't answer it, it's probably because I've answered it before or the question was maybe just a bit much. Also, I add script ideas to the list, so if you submitted one of those, then it probably won't get mentioned here. As always, you can ask me a question of your own, or submit a script or script idea using the links in the description below. Now then, without further ado, let's jump right into these questions. And just because I get these ones asked to me all the time, let me start off by saying, no, my real name isn't Cardlin. Yes, I do have a girlfriend. Yes, she knows about these videos and they're actually how we met. I'm 32 years old and yes, I am Filipino. Also, I started doing these audios or videos because I found them on Reddit, where there are tons more audio creators like me and much better ones at that, on Pillow Talk Audio and Gone Wild Audio, and I decided to try and give back to the community. Whew, right. Now on to the actual questions. Tatiana asks, who's your favorite Beatle? Everyone has a favorite? Pick Ringo and I'll give you a virtual friendly hug. I do want that hug, but I've got to be honest, as Imagine is one of my favorite songs and messages of all times, it's got to be John. Grace asks, do you have a beard? Because your voice sounds so good. I don't really understand how those two relate. It's kind of like asking, do you have a car because you write really well? That having been said, facial hair seems to be scared of me. I am perpetually sporting a baby face. Age, or Adriana, asks, how old were you when you figured out you were a daddy dom? It was just recently, actually, the last 3 years or so. Jess Price asks, is there any other male or female audios you like that you would suggest for all of us to check out? I say hop on Reddit, look up Bourbon Neat. He's supposed to be great and he's really popular. Then of course there's the amazing Jack, aka The Grey Knight, and Jiggy Wiggy ASMR is pretty good and a good friend as well. If you're looking for female voice, you can always find Always Slightly Sleepy on Reddit. She does amazing audios. Allie Kitten asks, are you right-handed or left-handed? Right-handed. I was actually born left-handed. But my grandma, old school Filipina, said that using the left hand is of the devil. So she started making me use my right hand. So now I'm kind of ambidextrous. Like I use my left hand for some things, right hand for others. Anonymous asks, why do you stop accepting followers on Instagram? My Instagram is actually something that I keep just for my Patreon patrons, as a way to thank them for supporting me actually. Anonymous asks, does love equal sex? Definitely not. Definitely not. In much the same way eating does not equal plates. You can have one without the other, but you most certainly don't have to. Ellie Phantom asks, do you ever feel like something magical is about to happen? Like when you wake up in the morning, do you feel like something great will happen that day? You mean like a feeling of premonition? Sometimes I wake up feeling really positive and hyped for the day to come. But I don't know that I would equate that to a feeling of, like precognition. More like a reminder to stay positive and that the day has the potential to be great if I just let it. I don't know if this is pronounced Baekhyun PH or Baekhyun, but they ask, how did you make the kissing sound so real? I've actually been told multiple times that my kissing sounds are bad and that I should do them less, but thank you so much. The last time I answered this one though, it kind of broke the illusion, so to speak. So I'll just leave this as I try the best I can, given what I have handy. Mahabaging Josa asks, how many kids do you wish to have? I don't know if I want any, to be honest, but I think a small family of 1 to 2 kids would be nice. I grew up romanticizing the idea of a huge family, like 8 kids, but I don't know how realistic that is in expensive-ass California. Melly asks, since you did a collab with The Grey Knight, is there anyone else you'd like to do a collab with? Yeah, actually. Anyone, everyone. Anybody with a decent following, a decent voice, and a great idea, I'm down. Karen Sophie asks, in how many languages can you say I love you? Let's see, there's English, I love you. Tagalog, mahal kita. Mandarin, wo aini. French, je t'aime. I think that's I love you. Korean, I believe, is saranghae. And Spanish is te quiero. But I'm always down to learn more. I hope I got those right, by the way. Alessia asks, if you were to ever witness a member of the public abusing or stepping over the mark with someone, would you speak up or walk away? Interesting. I think it'd depend on the situation, but I'd like to think that I'd try and do something to make sure the right thing was done. Like at the least maybe just record it. This name, I hope I don't get it wrong. Daira asks, I used to write, where did the name Cardlin come from? Well, I used to write RP, or roleplay specifically, and Cardlin was one of my favorite characters to write about. A little bit of nerdy backstory to let my geek shine through. Cardlin was a quiet street urchin with a secret. He'd collect playbills from the local theater, and he had a sneaky way to climb in through a loose board in the roof. He'd sneak into the rafters and watch from the shadows, and he was hopelessly in love with the starlet of the stage. I didn't use him very often, but he remained a favorite of mine. Camille asks, do you have a plan to visit the Philippines this year? If so, can I meet you, and can you give me some advice on voice acting? As much as I'd love to, I don't think I'm going to make it to the PI this year. I have plenty of other things to save up for, like my girlfriend visiting for the first time in June. That should be fun. Taylor D asks, so I was wondering, since you've said on many occasions you would never do a face reveal, which I totally understand and respect, would you ever be a voice actor for a game like Until Dawn that uses your likeness for the character as well as your voice? Sure. Given the opportunity, I'd love to. Lils asks, when you were little, what did you want to be? One of my first career aspirations was to work at a 7-Eleven so I could have all the Slurpees I could drink. I remember my uncle said, if you were president, you could have all the Slurpees you wanted too. And I was like, oh, okay, then I'll just be president then. Avery asks, hi Cardlin, would you rather get caught singing in the mirror or spying on your crush? Spying on my crush, probably, because I figure it'll probably lead to something, or at least give me that fluttery feeling in my stomach. And who doesn't like that thrill? Mercy asks, what do you do to cheer yourself up if you're having a bad day? I'll stop what I'm doing, take a break, talk to a friend, listen to some good music, go for a walk. Basically, stop and reset my mindset. Mona asks, which language sounds most beautiful to you? You know, I always thought that Hawaiian sounded really beautiful and flowing. Just like a really lyrical language. Angelica asks, do you like to listen to Adele? I do. I think the last show I went to was Adele's, but that was a long time ago, when she had only one single out. Tori asks, do you have any siblings? Nope. Only child. Probably might explain why I take to talking to myself so naturally. Anonymous asks, have you ever considered making another Tumblr page for advice? I think you're really kind and seem genuinely interested in people. So about this. I've been getting a lot of requests for advice, and it's getting kinda troublesome. On one hand, I love helping people, y'all know that, and in one particular scenario I posted about recently, I was able to help this girl in a really dire situation regarding abuse in her home. In that aspect, I'm really glad I was able to help her out. The thing is, I am not a trained professional, and oftentimes people come to me like I am, and it's getting kinda worrisome. I'm happy to be here when no one else is, but I am by no means a replacement for actual therapy or psychiatric help. I'm very much so just a dork at a keyboard, and I really hope everyone out there looking for advice knows that. Yeah. Savannah asks, if you could have dinner with anyone alive or dead, famous or not, who would you choose? Probably my grandfather. He died before I really came online, so to speak, and I feel like he's a really cool and admirable person. A real gentleman, a real suave talker, a real popular guy who was liked, loved, and respected by many. If I think about him too much, I kind of get choked up, so let's just leave that there. ACS asks, do you have any other hobbies other than making audios? Sure, I'm all about the nerd culture and keeping up with it, be it with movies, books, comics, shows. Also, I game a whole lot, like a whole lot. If I'm not recording, I'm gaming. Alyssa asks, first off, you are amazing. Thank you, Alyssa. Okay, so question, if you could have voiced anyone from the Kingdom Hearts series, who would it be? Ooh, man. That would be the dream. I think it'd be cool to be Roxas, Axel, or like a Square character, like Leon or Waka. That'd be awesome. Olivia asks, I once saw you mention you were into fitness. I was wondering what exercise you favor and if you have a set routine. I do a bit of CrossFit, so it's a lot of burpees, wall balls, D-ROM. It has such a bad reputation, I know, but my cousin is a fitness trainer and he's taught me what it's really all about, which is to say efficiency and learning practical movements. It's really not as douchey as the stereotype might make you believe, trust me. Anonymous asks, can you tell us about how you got your first kiss? Sure. Story time. It was with my first online girlfriend. I just picked her up from the airport. I was too young to drive back then, so my mom was driving and we were sitting in the back seat and heading towards the hotel we were staying at while she was out here. Anyway, I was geeking out hard, like pointing out this side and that side, just kind of talking about everything and non-stop gabbing, and she just leans over and kisses me mid-sentence. I shut up immediately. She squeezes my hand and the rest of the trip was spent in quiet, blushy happiness. Anonymous asks, are you a fan of Supernatural? Nope. Vanessa from Australia asks, has anyone ever walked in while you were recording? No, but I have had phone calls or random barking interrupt an audio before. I usually pause, scrub out the noise, and try to pick back up from there. Sassy Fool asks, if there was an opportunity, are you willing to be sponsored full-time but have to change something in your audios? Or make a few sponsored videos and be the same? If so, why? It really depends on the specifics of the deal, to be honest, and what I thought would be the best for the channel. I wouldn't want sponsorship to interrupt or take away from the message of each audio, but if I could find a way to do it tastefully and it would further my chances of doing this full time, yeah, I'd consider it. Anonymous asks, what's your favorite Kingdom Hearts world and Keyblade? I've always liked the design of the original, but Lady Luck and Metal Chocobo, however you want to say it, they're some of my favorites. As for a world, it'd have to be Destiny Island or Hollow Bastion. Dolores Rose asks, do you love R&B? If so, who's your favorite singer or group? I grew up with Boyz II Men and SWV, so those two would have to be my favorites. Cooley High Harmony remains one of my favorite albums of all time. Shaw17 asks, what's your favorite Filipino dessert? Bibingka. No egg though, please. But I might take a little square of butter with it. Shaw17 asks again, are you good at cooking? Definitely not. Definitely not. I'm trying to learn though. Right now I make a decent spaghetti and a pretty good stew. M&M's asks, are you really serious about the Cardi Bear? When will it be available? I'm very serious about it actually. It's just a matter of finding someone to make them at a price that won't break your banks. I'm still speaking to a few toy makers, but if you all know someone, let me know. McKenna asks, do you often express your inner desires in your audios, or is it more to please your audience? Or in other words, have you ever made an audio with something that you may not be 100% comfortable doing with an actual partner? Sure. Some of the scripts are entirely me. Some of them are writing scenarios and, scenarios that I think others might like, and others still are scripts written by other people. I try my best to blur the lines enough so that I can perform any type without my personal interest being too obvious. Danny asks, do you believe in life after love? Apparently I get kudos if I sing the question. I really don't think I'm strong enough. Oh, but seriously. Probably not life in the sense that we're familiar with, like being a person walking around and stuff. But I think we continue on at a far more universal level, like space stuff and all that jazz. Bay asks, have you been to Anime Expo in Los Angeles? If not, are you planning to go in the future? I went there recently actually to work at a friend's booth. It was my first time there and it was a total trip. I loved it. And would definitely do it again. Anonymous asks, would you date a girl who's extremely headstrong, gets angry fast, is hard to get, and only gets soft when she's at her absolute lowest? Or do you prefer obedient and DDLG type girls? Sure. It'd all really depend on whether or not there was a connection. Ideally, the person I'd end up with would be far more of a dynamic person, with a personality that isn't so set in stone. I like seeing people who can flex and change, and getting to know all sides of them. Julia asks, what is your favorite thing about living in San Francisco? Other than family and friends, just knowing that I'm in the heart of the Silicon Valley, and that this is where the majority of technology's advancement is happening, that's pretty cool. Anonymous asks, just wondering, are you a back, side, or stomach sleeper? Side usually, right side specifically. Anonymous asks, if you have one, what is your favorite Filipino dish? I love giniling, which is this ground beef stew. Mush that up in some rice and I'm set for the day. Yoli asks, we know you are becoming more and more of an excellent recognized voice actor. What about being an actor in front of the camera? Would you do it? Excellent recognized voice actor, huh? That'd be nice, but I'm still working my way towards there. As for acting in front of a camera, sure. It wouldn't be my ideal though. I don't like doing things that would interfere with my life online, or offline rather. Yoli asks, what would be the most challenging role as an on-screen actor for you to portray? Probably as an intimidating antagonist. I think I smile too much. Vianney asks, what makes you smile? Almost anything and everything. I like being happy, so I try and chase that feeling, and I let myself smile at stupid stuff. Ashtika asks, if I gave you an elephant, where would you hide it? In my elephant pocket, probably. Ashnika also asks, do you like doctors? Sure, they do great things, they're way smarter than I am, and they try to help me be better. Who doesn't like doctors? Strawberry Shortcracker asks, what's your current job? I work in the video game industry, managing a quality assurance team. Strawberry asks, who's your favorite author? Chuck Palahniuk, probably. A lot of my other favorite authors have this big problem with starting strong but finishing weak, like the late Robert Jordan and George R. Martin. Cami asks, is Cardlin your real name? Nope. Man, how'd that get in here? Anonymous asks, I can't find where to put poetry, where do I go? You can email them to me directly at cardlinish@gmail.com or find the link in the description below. Anonymous asks, what is your definition of happiness? That's a heavy one. I think happiness can be fleeting and it can be lasting. Guess you're not really asking what my ideal life is, so happiness is just knowing that in that moment, despite everything else going on, you are in a good place and you're enjoying yourself. Anonymous asks, what would you do if your ex texts you? Text back, see how they're doing. Don't burn bridges, people. Remember the good times, forgive the bad times. Unless it was an abusive relationship, in which case, get them out of your lives. Tess asks, how old were you when you lost your virginity? 17 or 18 or so, I think. Pop Tropica asks, do you have any tattoos? Not yet, no, but maybe in the future. Anonymous asks, are you going to do any erotic audios for your male identifying audience at any point? Sure. It's just a matter of finding a good script for it, to be honest. If anyone knows of one, let me know. Anonymous asks, how did you perfect your moaning/panting/whimpering in your erotic audios? Like, do you imagine someone when you record or touch yourself? Or is it just an aspect of voice acting that you're really good at, because you really are? First off, thank you. Jeez, okay, to answer your question, I guess I just kind of think about what the other person might like, what kind of sounds might let them know that I'm enjoying myself, and then I just follow that. Pons Grande 421 asks, you don't talk about your girlfriend a lot. It's weird, I think I do. But you said she listens to your audio. Has she ever featured in an audio? You know, she likes to remain anonymous, actually, so I can't really answer that. Anonymous asks, do you think love can be found online? Definitely. Though I think it can often be mistaken for infatuation. I think love can be discovered online, even enjoyed, but it requires some real in-person time to really iron down the edges and settle into a true, lasting love. Arwen Rocks asks, hello again, Mr. Cardlin. I know you like grizzly and polar bears, but what about pandas? Sure, pandas too. They're always adorable. Anonymous asks, I saw in the description of one of your videos that you need plushies. May I ask how many you will need? Also, if you just accept makers from the US? I was originally thinking of doing a run of about 10 and selling them, but now I don't know that 10 would be enough, to be honest. Demand is higher than I thought. And so long as the prices worked out and the quality was how I wanted it, I'd accept them from just about anywhere, to be honest. Anonymous asks, what's your favorite audio at the moment? I wrote a script that was F for M, which I plan on making M for A soon and doing a take on myself, of a yandere student kidnapping her professor. Some of the takes on that, done by some people on Reddit, are by far my favorite audios of all time. Little Redhead 1204 asks, my question is there any one person who gets you really excited and you don't even know them? I don't know if any one person can get me to geek out on a giggly, scrambled up kind of level. But then again, when I went to Disneyland a few years ago, I thought I was over it and that I wouldn't be able to get into the magic. When I saw Buzz Lightyear in his big old foam suit, I kind of freaked out, so who knows? And that's the last of the questions, so on to the announcements. First off, the Undertale playthroughs will commence, I promise. I'm just trying to catch up with myself. As it stands, updating Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and working a demanding full-time job is already really aggressive as is, but I do want to keep pushing myself to expand and grow, and I enjoy the Let's Play a lot. I'll try and make the gaming channel soon, maybe when I hit 5,000 subscribers. Also, I'm still looking for poetry and had a lot of fun reading your submissions so far, so please keep them coming. I love showcasing your talent and helping you all see just how amazing this community is. To kind of give you a glimpse of how lucky and appreciative I am to have all of you. If you ever have any new ideas for how I can continue to grow, please let me know at the feedback survey in the description, which you can find below. My Patreon continues to grow. I'm very close to putting my recording booth together. Every new patron brings me one step closer to being able to do this full time for you all, which would mean daily updates and multiple channels. But baby steps for now, right? I want to show my appreciation to everyone out there supporting me, so that means a huge thanks to Destiny, Andrea, Kelsey, Liliana, Carly, Andrea, Raina, Jesse, and Jasmine. Speaking of, if you're listening to this and I owe you a reward, like a custom ringtone, a notification, or a custom private audio, or whatever you've earned, please let me know. I assure you, those are my highest priorities to complete. I just sometimes get sidetracked. And of course, to all of you out there, thank you so much for continuing to listen and support me. By telling your friends, by liking these audios, or hell, even just by being here. I love making these roleplays and audios and videos, all for you. I hope I can continue to do it for a very long time. With luck, we'll see CardlinAudio grow to a tremendous amount in 2016, and together we'll be able to reach more and more people. In closing, I just want to say that keeping up with this channel has indeed been taxing, but it's also been really motivating and inspiring too. Knowing that I can keep up with this and stay dedicated to my sometimes aggressive schedule gives me hope for our future together as a community. Keep the love coming in, and I promise I'll do my best to shine it right back your way. Until next time then, cheers.